how digital asset transformation is shaping new trends in 2021. Securities will be tokenized and tokens will be secured. How digital asset transformation is shaping new trends in 2021. Moderated by Ziv Keenan, Symmetria. With Remo Hammerberg, Ignium. Aurora Wong, Auris Capital. Alex Lightman, Keymoji. And Nikolai Shkilev, Zelwin.
So, thank you everybody for joining today. Thank you distinguished members of the panel. We will start with a short introduction of each of the panelists. Will introduce themselves, then I'll introduce myself, and we'll start with the panel. So starting with you, Nikolai. Nikolai.
From me, I don't hear you. Yeah. Okay, my name is Nikolai Shkilev. I'm founder of Private Business Club. It's a club for rich people in Russia and Eastern Europe. Also, I'm CEO and co-founder of Zelwin ecosystem. We built, for example, Zelwin.com. It's crypto-friendly marketplace of goods where you can buy any goods around the world by traditional money or by crypto. We built Zelwin.games. It's platform marketplace for games, and we have more than 1,500 games on our platform. Also, we have exchange on our website, and today I present here Zelwin.finance. It's new launch pool for best projects for startups and for investors. And we have a very strong project. If it will be interesting, if so, speak briefly. And also, I was advisor more than 70 projects worldwide in blockchain sphere.
Thank you, Alex.
Hello, I'm Alex Lightman. I'm the CEO and founder of Keymoji, which makes keyboards for mobile phones that come with crypto wallets, and also a new company called KeyPay, which is a sister company. And we are companies that are part of the Mocha Global Group. We figured out how to monetize the keyboard with partners. And our partners are some of the most famous sports brands and other brands in the world, like Tottenham Hotspur and Real Madrid and others. We should have a few 100 million of them out this year. And also, I am a senior advisor, the first one to Packet Cash, which is a fork of Bitcoin that is environmentally friendly and creates bandwidth. And my team created the route server that lets all of you create your own ISPs. So basically, it's a whole way of dealing with the #1 fastest growing commodity in the world, bandwidth.
Remo?
Yes, hello, Remo Hammerberg. My background is law. I used to be practicing capital markets and financial attorney for the last almost 20 years. And since 2019, we established Ignium. And Ignium is a company empowering SMEs by giving capital markets back to them. So what do? We build a private asset capital markets where SMEs have vested interest and which is connected to their daily business.
Hello, everyone. I'm Aurora Wong. I have been in blockchain and crypto space since 2013. Have been actively act as investor, founder, and advisor, mainly in 3 tracks: digital asset exchanges, digital asset mining, and technology-driven blockchain projects. We invest in both equity and token. Portfolio companies includes IPFS, Polkadot, Definity, Casper Labs, who is also present here. And currently I'm managing partner and a senior advisor to regulated digital asset hedge fund, Auris Capital, which manages for funds, and also a senior advisor to about to launch regulated digital asset exchange. Yeah.
My name is Ziv Keenan. I'm the moderator today. I'm the founder and CEO of Symmetria. Symmetria is a digital securities exchange out of Israel. before joining Symmetry, I was the COO of Onera. Onera is creating a DLT network for financial institutions. We also created the Digital Steering Market Committee under GDF. Before that, I was an advisor for eToro trading platform and the founder of Security Token Lawyers, first law office in 2017 to 2018. We're focusing on digital securities. We are a Draper Going Home portfolio company. Joseph is here. And we're building on Algorand. Algorand is the first carbon neutral blockchain that's out there. And I want to start the discussion with let's start and do like a very simple explanation. What is a digital security? Because everybody's asking me, what is digital security? Is it like utility token? Is it like security token? Waymo, why don't you take this?
Right, very short and sweet. Well, security is security, regardless in what form it appears. So what are securities? We all know them, right? It's equities, bonds, convertible, different kind of preference instruments, whatever. Different kind of colors that you can use to paint the picture of a corporate finance. That's what security is. And simply digital security is a security appearing in a digital form. So nothing has changed compared to last, say, almost 1,000 years, right? Still people want to participate in a companies, in a cap tables, in a different form. Simply now what we have is a framework which is much more resilient, much more efficient, much more cost efficient, which simply enables more people to participate in a corporate finance in a more affordable cost and making it all more accessible. That's what digital security is. It is nothing more.
Oh, I would like to add.
Yeah, I want to add a little bit on the regulatory landscape here, because I've been actually relocated to GCC region for the past 6 months, and I found very interesting, from the global landscape of regulations. Actually, tokens has not been yet regulated as an asset class in any major financial jurisdictions. Yeah. But however, many of the progressive jurisdictions, such as ADGM, Abu Dhabi Global Market, has actually uniquely defined tokens as a unique asset class in the form of digital securities. So digital securities actually has performed the same attributes as securities, but in terms of as a unit asset class in terms of digital securities. So as regulated, digital asset exchange and digital asset hedge fund, we're mainly interested in 4 categories. So equity securities, fixed income securities, commodities, and also we do see a huge market in the real estate, both residential and commercial side.
Yeah, amazing. I was really surprised and delighted when I saw that ADGM, you have in the legislation, you have the definition of security token. I think it's one of the first time that I actually saw it defined under formal legislation, which is amazing. So I'm going to move now and ask, we've seen, the people that are living in this space, we're seeing everything that's going on. We see, SocGen that issuing securities, that the French bank Société Générale, which is issuing securities on the blockchain. We saw HSBC, the big bank, which is registering that on the blockchain. And we see many financial institution banks in the GDF steering market committee that we are a part of. I can say that we're seeing nearly every large financial institution is a member in this steering group. And my question to the panel, and maybe Alex, you would like to start, and Nicola, maybe you can say, why do you think things are, you see things a different way? What's the added value of using, or why do you actually need blockchain technology? And what is the added value that those institutions, for example, the large exchange, the banks, and so on, see in implementing this technology?
Okay. Well, I'm part of the Andreas Antonopoulos way of thinking about this, that in the world today, we have a very nice, cushy situation for people in rich countries, but there are billions of people who have never had a bank account, and they don't have a way of storing value, and they don't have a way of conveying value across time or value across space or of granularity of money, and they're suffering. And there's a saying from Gandhi to consider the poorest person you know and then think, how is your next action going to make any difference to that person? And so we need to have technology that is borderless, that is permissionless, that you don't have to know somebody and you don't have to have a lot of money or power to get into it, and you need to be able to have it work on people's mobile phones, even if they are just purchasing minutes, even if they're so poor they can only purchase 30 minutes a month. We need to make something that's accessible to those people. So that's the first answer. But as far as institutions goes, capitalism is ruthless, and nature is red in tooth and claw, and to the winner, the winner comes from who can do things with the lowest amount of latency. So I'm a big fan of the Republic of Korea. Korea has relentlessly pushed its telecommunications, the most fiber per capita, the most 4G, the most 5G, the most Wi-Fi everywhere, and as a result, they have the lowest latency. And that's partly the reason why Koreans often win in StarCraft 2, playing against the rest of the world, because they've got this 50 to 100 millisecond advantage over everybody else. They just see things faster. There was a time when Jim Clark was setting up something to set a fiber that would go straight through the Appalachian Mountains between Chicago and New York so that he could save a fraction of the second, and that people would be willing to pay 500% more for the same amount of bandwidth if they could save a fraction of a second. Because in a world where quadrillions of dollars of derivatives are being traded and trillions of dollars worth of currency and hundreds of billions of dollars worth of equity value, somebody who saves a little bit of time. And I do a bunch of deals for private equity. I got some shares done. It took me 6 months to get some shares issued to me, and then they're locked up for another 6 months. And Ziv told me last night that his whole business, it's like a superpower. And what he does is he takes people who have private shares for something that he thinks is going to go public, and he unlocks it and gives it liquidity. Liquidity is the superpower of capitalism. And so whoever can get a lot of assets, I was telling people last night, I have about $1,700 on my checking account, but I have a lot more in crypto and a lot more in equities. I don't keep my money in cash. I like to have it, and I like it to be liquid, and I want to avoid the US dollar as much as possible, and blockchain allows me to do that.
Thank you, Alex. Nikolai.
Okay, if speak about me, I'm totally agree with Alex. I don't like security tokens, to be honest. I don't like this system because we go to again to Stone Age, to old financial system, with regulators, with bureaucracy, with double standards policy, and with license. It's okay maybe for few countries in Europe, in UK, in USA, but for other 170 countries, it's not good way. It's very difficult to receive any license or something like this for citizens. If we really want to make world much better, we must make more easy coming to registration for license for everything, because it's difficult for many countries in the world. And now, if you will ask me, I really more like decentralized systems, not centralized. Sorry, but it's my opinion.
I think that is a very interesting view. I can say that, going back to what Alex said, is that there's platform out there that offer fractionalization, where you can buy like a fraction of an Apple share, and this is very inclusive. You can also smaller the ticket to enter into a fund like Aurora's, for example. Instead of having just a very large ticket, you can enter very small ticket. This is done through those systems as well. So I think there's a level of inclusion that included into those systems, but I also accept totally the criticism that you express, where the license is needed and it's not an open market for all. I definitely
For most
agree.
of countries, it's not open, yes.
Yeah, So we have about 2 minutes left. I want to, if you can share like your views about how we're going to see this. You know, like yesterday we spoke and you said all technology is science fiction at some point, yeah? So let's start and envision like what is the sci-fi future that we see for the implementation of blockchain technology in traditional markets.
Sure. 8 billion people able to buy, sell, borrow, loan, and swap anything with anybody else instantly, T0, no latency, or milliseconds of latency, and have a complete immutable record so nobody can cook the books. This is not a world that favors corrupt countries. This is not a world that favors corrupt governments or corrupt people or corrupt companies. It will crush them. And that's a world that I want to help create with your help.
Remo.
Saying, well, totally agreeing. There is one additional element, very important one, that I would like to add to this sci-fi future picture, is that we are all still there. I mean, the world exists as we know it today. I mean, with all the benefits, trees growing, et cetera, what I'm simply saying, all this vision, in order to become really a true and desirable future, it must be green. And I mean, that's one of the biggest challenges ahead of us currently. A system is currently fragmented, but it's okay. It's the early emergent stage of the technology. First of all, it all must become integrated, because otherwise this real-time picture is simply not possible. But secondly, what is very important, it must become carbon neutral, because otherwise simply things will not happen. The governments will stop it, and we simply, you know, all of us will suffer, because in the end, there is just one world.
Oa?
Yeah, I was just joking. I thought like my mind picture is like mission take over the whole world, something like that, if I imagine. Just kidding. But in our industry, I would say, you know, I would hope like everything is fully connected, you know, because there currently still a lot of unconnected people around, and fully inclusive and fully transparency. I think these three things are important. But in terms of the real like formality, I think, yeah, everything would be, you know, in digital format. And I don't want to elaborate too much what's in my mind now. So I would just stop here, yeah.
Nikolai, is there anything you want to add? Okay.
No, I want that all countries must have opportunity to come into any projects, to any product. It's my dream. For example, crypto, it's open a lot of markets around the world. You know, now we like one big family, and I want that we stay like one big family without borders, sanctions, political games, etc. We must be separate from this. It's my dream.
Yeah, and I'll share my dream that my kids would have the same financial opportunities that the top tier investor in the world has, and the liquidity that drives from participating in the tech economy. And I want to thank you very much, members of the panel. It was a great panel, and thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you, Ziv.
Thank you.
Thank you.